Yeah, so this morning at the Bryanston Bike Park, we got an opportunity to really test our skills on some really tight single track. And I have to be honest, I found myself wanting on many occasions, trying to do things I shouldn't be doing. And it's one thing to war against the bike, but to try and fight your own mind and your natural instincts is something quite different. So I was very grateful to have Sean Bardnost with us, Mr. Tread, who was taking us around the narrow paths and the tight turns, and just how to do it, explaining the three laws, but more than that, we got to feel them in play. And as we used them and as we applied them, it was amazing what that did to not only my confidence, but how I felt on the bike through the turns.
I call it the three laws of mountain bike wisdom. They're essentially laws of physics. Ideally, you need to obey all three. If you obey all three, you probably won't crash. The first one is to look where you want to go. The second one is to maintain good momentum, and the third one is to keep as low a center of gravity as possible. The first law is actually the law of momentum. Momentum is essential if you want to stay upright. Any circular object that's not spinning has no gyroscopic forces, which means it's very unstable and it'll fall over. So if you think about your wheels, when they're spinning, they gain stability the faster they go. So by ensuring you've got good momentum, you ensure you've got stability. Second law is to look where you want to go. If you look at something for longer than half a second and you're moving towards it, your body will start to aim at it. And obviously, once your eyes get fixed on an object like a rock, then your head starts to aim towards it, and your shoulders follow your head and your hips follow your shoulders, and you end up riding into it. So the important thing is to trust your peripheral vision and your subconscious, and the fact that your subconscious will tell your conscious side of your brain to be careful if necessary, and then you take necessary action. And that usually means looking past the obstacle and not at it. Look away from the obstacle that you want to avoid and not at it, and you should be okay. Okay, the third law is center of gravity. The lower your center of gravity, the more stable you are. So the important thing is to know when to take your body weight off your saddle and put it on your pedals. Usually this is on downhills and through corners, and by adjusting your center of gravity when you can, you are obeying the third law, and that's going to make you more stable and less likely to crash. It's a bit like driving a car. You obviously have to get taught, you need the knowledge, but in order to become a better driver of the car, you need to practice regularly. So it's exactly the same thing with mountain bike skills. You need to find out what the theory is and put it into practice, and once you have that knowledge, you need to just practice as often as you can.
So Sam has set out a major program for us. It requires not much of our time, but a lot of dedication, because if we don't put in the time and the bicycles, the limited time we do have, and we don't give the full dedication that she expects of us, we're not going to achieve the results we want to get. And especially going into the JPC next year, we want to do pretty well at that event together as a team. And that's what mountain biking has become. It's become a team sport. So if Danny lets me down, or vice versa, we let each other down.
When looking at the up and coming year for with regards to training and the races, we will break it up into different training blocks, focusing on some base training and then building it up from there, and then really getting the key sessions in before the race, and so your high interval training, some threshold training, and then obviously the tapering before the race comes up. The tools we require when monitoring the training is specifically heart rate monitors, so we can check what the sessions are. If it's a low intensity session, to make sure that the athlete is sticking at that low intensity. If it's high intervals, then sticking at the higher stuff. Making sure that there's the right training zones integrated in. So heart rate monitor, definitely key, and then looking at power meters, and possibly even getting the guys on watt bikes if they don't have power meters, and really getting the power versus heart rate and integrating all of that into the program and getting the best possible results from that.
Well, next year is obviously our first year of racing. Right now, just putting the right steps in place, and I suppose really now is trying to find the pattern, the routine of training, which I have to be honest is been very hard to find. So chatting with Sam, it's going to be very important about allocating the right time to the right disciplines. Even with Sean today, I can see, as he says, the minimum time maybe required is every 2 weeks, 1 hour of some really technical training and sort of training at the vomiting limit, as he put it, which needs to be implemented, because my skills are far from where they should be. So certainly before we hit the racing season, I'm going to need to sharpen up on that.
How did it feel, Danny? How did it feel?
That was so...
some guy on the highway laughing there.